Okay, it's June 18, 2025, and this is the kill list for Apple Valley. We all know they love killing, and even with adopters and rescues and fosters lined up to help, they want to kill. So there's the list. Be nice if you could help or share or whatever. There's Scarlett, Subie, Canela, Winnie, Jaye, Alaska, Link, Butch, Sparkles, Deebo, Kai, Chuck, Bo, Winston, Buzz, Myra, Richie, and Ronaldo or Donaldo. It looks like it's Ronaldo. Here's little Buster and Jimmy. Look at that little Jimmy. Smiling and happy. Griselda. Dodge. Beautiful black dog. Norman and Dallas. This is, yeah. So the folks are trying to be proactive because they know this place is a murder hole. This was the good person who's working this day. I can promise you that. There's a sinister, evil person that works there that just can't wait to get there to kill. And there's a really decent person that I know is working hard to get these animals out alive. These two had a really slim chance of getting out, but they did get out. So, but yeah. Let's look at a couple more here. Here's Bilby. Here's Wombat, probably twins. Here's No Name, but he has a number. Another No Name, black dog, beautiful with a number. Here's a pregnant dog, injured leg, no big deal. To me, anything outside of cancer and AIDS and Lou Gehrig's disease and paralysis is no big deal. It can be dealt with. Francis, let's hope you get out. Look at that, scared as hell. That ain't right, man. That ain't right. You know, these animals can't go out and get a job and you know, pay for pregnancies and shit like that. You know, a decent person, it's our responsibility to take care of these less fortunate creatures. You know, this dog isn't doing meth and fentanyl and robbing people. It's just a beautiful dog that needs help. Here's another no-name dog with a number. Looks like he's been really abused before he got to this shelter. He's very thin. 2 years old. Yeah, that's too bad. Here's another no name. 3 years old. Nice young dog. Here's Rusty. Needs a little eye cleanup. That's it. 2 years old. Little wolf. Good looking little dog. Here's Axolotl. And here's Wallaby. Here's Kangaroo. How could you not want to adopt that dog? I mean, they're all winners, but you know. Here's Hyena. Here's Mama, Polly, and puppies. Urgent in holding, whatever that means. Here's Urgent Winston. Buzz. Gotta hope you get out, Buzz. This is the dog they most usually execute. It's like a pit mix or whatever, and pit bull dogs are absolutely wonderful dogs. You know, I don't know what the most benign creature is, but no matter what kind of creature you want to abuse, you can turn into a monster. It just so happens a lot of monsters adopt pit bulls and abuse them and turn them into deadly dogs. But on their own, they are not deadly dogs. They're gentle, affectionate dogs. They're fiercely loyal, very smart. And there's Buzz. Here's Frog. Really friendly looking dog. Here's Urgent Jimmy, happy guy. Here's Butterfly. Really, really beautiful blue eyes, or the white of the eye is blue. Here's Urgent Bo, another beautiful black dog. Here's Benny. Looks like a very submissive dog. Here's Beauty. Here's Urgent Kai. This is a dog they like to kill. I hate it, that's just how it is. If they look submissive like that, they just run them back and kill them. Here's Koala. Here's Beluga. Here's Tiger. Beautiful dog. Here's Caterpillar. Adoption not completed Melvin. It's a young dog. Here's Lemmer. 3 years old, beautiful pit. And here's another day they just went out of their way to kill. Beautiful dogs. Yeah, I showed you that one that looked like Mia that they can't wait to kill. Beautiful dogs. All of these dogs could have been adopted, but they chose to kill because that's what they enjoy doing. You know, when you think of like Adolf Hitler and Heinrich Himmler and Dr. Mengele of Auschwitz, these were just people with criminal personalities. Just extremely evil, extremely dark, and they enjoyed every second of the misery and horror they brought into this world. You're gonna find the same thing here. These are all highly adoptable dogs, but they don't want to make any effort to adopt them out. This place is notorious for being one of the highest kill shitholes on the West Coast. So, and it doesn't have to be that way, but that's what they choose, you know. You can only stuff so many Big Macs in your belly to quell the hatred you have for animals, and smoke and booze up and do drugs or whatever the fuck they do. This place is darkness. This place is evil, you know. Look at that little guy. Why? Why did you kill him? When there's people that would have came to adopt him. We'll catch you on next YouTube.